What's up guys, Justin here with the RenderingEssentials.com, back with another Enscape new version video for you. So in today's video we're going to check out the newest version of Enscape, version 3.2, and the new features contained inside of it. So let's go ahead and just jump into it. Alright, so first off, you can read all of the release notes by visiting the latest version page on Enscape's website, which I will link to in the notes down below. So that's going to talk through all of the different features that are contained inside of here. But I thought we could take a look at some of them a little bit more closely and see what they've added. So this one has some really interesting new additions. This is the first version where they've made it where you can place objects now inside of your 3D renderings. So if we were to jump over into SketchUp and start Enscape, so I'm going to start Enscape right here. If you remember previously, what we had to do is we had to have the SketchUp window open and we had to place the proxy models for the Enscape models that you wanted to place in here from inside of SketchUp. All right, and so when we jump into Enscape, you can see how we have the rendered view of our building right here. So we've got our shadows going and all of that. But specifically what we want to do is we want to focus on this option right here for the asset library. So notice how now there's an option that pops up where you can access the asset library from directly inside of this scene. Not only can you access the asset library with tools like translate and rotate and other things like that, where you can actually move assets that you bring in around, you can also import those and place them either singularly or at multiple objects at once. So let's say, for example, that we wanted to add multiple trees in here. So what we're going to do is we're going to find some palm trees. So maybe like this one right here and this one right here. Notice how when we add multiple different trees to our selection, they all show up down here. All right, and so notice that when you select these, there's different kinds of selections that you can use in order to place objects. So there's a rectangular selection, a circular selection, and a bucket selection. And so I'm going to turn my scene a little bit, but let's look at the rectangular selection first. So what the rectangular selection is going to do is you can adjust your width like this. Well, when it says rectangular, what it really is it gives you the ability to place objects in a line like this. Notice how you can adjust that width in here, but this is basically randomly going to place those objects inside of that box. You can adjust the density up or down using this slider, and you can also set the distribution types. So you can set it so that it has a jitter, you can set it so that it has a uniform distribution, or you can just leave it on random. Notice how if you check the box for random rotation, it's going to randomly rotate these objects. But once you're done, you can either check the box for preview selected area. So what that's going to do is that's going to download the assets and then it's going to show you what those are going to look like. Or there's an option in here for confirm placement, which we'll look at in a second. And so notice how now you've got these trees in here and they're actually previewed on that surface. So you could also click and drag this in order to adjust this. And again, you'd have to check the box again, but it's going to preview that for you. And then once you're happy with your result, you can click on confirm placement. Notice how regenerate is going to randomly place them again right here. But then when you're done and you click on confirm placement, those have been added to your scene. So now if we click on the button for apply changes, that's going to place your trees in your scene just like this. And so the circle does exactly what you would think. So you click and then click again and you place these objects in a circle. So again, you can adjust the density up if you want to do that. All these same tools apply right here, and you can click on the confirm placement in order to place these objects. And so if you want to go back and adjust any of these, you can just click on the select button right here, and you can actually move these around inside of the scene. This is actually a pretty substantial update by Enscape. I like the placement options that they have in here. And so then I'm going to delete these out so that we can look at the last placement option. So if you go back to your select tool and then you do a control click, you can select multiple different objects at once, and I'm going to delete them out. But now let's take a look at the last placement option, which is the bucket selection. This is probably my favorite. It's going to be the one that you're going to find the most useful, I think. Notice how when we select the option for bucket selection and then I mouse over my scene, what it's doing is it's finding surfaces in here and it's highlighting them. And basically what that's saying is, okay, if you were to click right now, I'm going to place this wherever these are highlighted. So if I was to click on my ground right here, notice what that's going to do is that's going to place all of these trees on the ground randomly using these selected assets. And that's going to occur, I think it's anywhere that surface is. I don't think it's by material. I think it's by surface. I'm not 100% sure on that, so you may need to test it. But notice how I can regenerate that in order to randomly place those. I can adjust the density up or down like this. So notice how placing all of these is really easy. And then I'm just going to click on the confirm placement. And I'm going to click on apply changes. Notice how when we do that, that quickly places these trees in this scene. So these trees are all in here, and let's say you didn't like one of them, you could come in here, select it, and then adjust it. So you could move it around, you could adjust the scale, like this. So it's pretty versatile, and all of this happens directly inside of Enscape. You don't have to do this inside of SketchUp anymore, which is great because having to switch back and forth was a little bit clunky in the past. But let's say that we were to jump back into SketchUp for just a second. Notice how what this did is this has added the proxies of those trees in your SketchUp model so you can see them. And so if you were to delete one of them, so for example, if I was to select this tree and delete it out, and just remember that this was around the corner right here. So it's going to be this tree. But if I was to delete that, like this, and then apply the changes, and then go back into SketchUp, notice how that tree was removed from inside of SketchUp. So this is a massive update that I'm super happy about from Enscape. So they've also added a number of different green building assets to their asset library. So things like solar panels and wind turbines are now in here. So if you are doing any kind of like green building modeling, there are tools in here for that, as well as a ton of other new models that are in here as well. So they've expanded their asset library. All right, so in addition, they've made some changes to the way that panoramas work. So first off, you can set up views inside of your view management. So I've got this model I downloaded in the 3D warehouse, and I've got 3 views in it. And so I want to render panoramas for each one of the views. We can do that by just clicking on this button right here for batch rendering. And so the batch rendering function, it already allowed you to render different images. So if I was to check this, to check all of these, notice how I could render these as individual images, or you can click the drop down right here to render panoramas. In this case, I'm going to render mono panoramas because we're not doing this for VR. So when I click on this, what it's going to do is it's going to go through and it's going to render all 3 of those panoramas. So we're going to let it work for a second, and then we'll come back and take a look at it. So now let's jump back into SketchUp. All right, so now we want to jump over into SketchUp. And in SketchUp, there's a window or a button right here for upload management that's going to allow you to upload those panoramas to the Enscape website. So if we click on this, notice how those panoramas are going to show up in this list right here. And so now these live in this file, and what we can do is we can click on the button right here to upload that to Enscape's website. So if I click on this, it's going to upload it to Enscape. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to upload all 3 of these, and then we'll take a look at their website and we'll see what that looks like on that site. All right, so now we've got all 3 of these uploaded. And so now what we want to do is we want to jump over to Enscape's website. So one thing to note about this is inside of your Enscape general settings, so you want to make sure that you've signed into your Enscape account right here so that this is uploading to the proper place. So if you haven't created an Enscape account, make sure that you do on Enscape's website. But then under your username in the right hand side when you log in, if you click on uploads, your uploads are all going to be in here. And for example, these are in the folder labeled parking. And if I click on this, I could find all of these different panoramas. And so I could either click on the panorama like this in order to view the panorama in your browser, or you can click on the button for create mono panorama gallery like this. And so when you click on that, what you can do is you can select multiple different panoramas like this and click on the button for start editing. And so that's going to pop up a web-based window where you can view that panorama. So notice how I can't move around using the arrow keys or anything like that because this is an individual panorama file. But if you mouse over down here, notice how all of the panoramas that you created show up in here, right? So you can jump between the different panoramas, or you could also click on the button right here to go into tour mode. So if you go into tour mode, what's going to happen is it's going to ask what waypoints you want to show. In this case, I'm going to say show all waypoints. So when you do that, what that means is now there's going to be different images that you can click on for the different views. So these are all going to be kind of like linked together in the sense that you can show different views and different locations of these individual panoramas, just like this. So if you're doing like a tour or something like that, this could be a really great feature for doing that. And it's all web-based, so people can access it. And then when you're done, you can just click on the button for save. And we're just going to call this parking walkthrough. And now that's going to show up as a 360 panorama gallery that you can actually share using a link. So you could send this link, or you could just directly email this, and people could just click on the link and actually view that panorama file. So leave a comment below. Let me know what you think about Enscape version 3.2. I just love having that conversation with you guys. I will link to some other Enscape tutorials on this page as well. As always, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this, and I will catch you in the next video. Thanks, guys.